things I've been predicting and or prophesying with the help of my star family, the Arcturians, and Commander Ashtar of Ashtar Command or Ashtar Galactic Command, and Jupiter Command keeps coming through as well. And, things that I've been predicting and or prophesying with the help of the Arcturians, my star family, and Commander Ashtar and Jupiter Command. And with the intelligence or intel coming through the Arcturians, Commander Ashtar and Jupiter Command, are playing out and are coming to pass now in the real world for everyone to see. I prophesied U.S. airstrikes on Iran, and I saw it coming, and that came to pass when President Trump did airstrikes on Iran with B-2 stealth bombers and bombed 3 of Iran's main nuclear sites. So, I saw it coming, I prophesied it, and it came to pass recently. And the video proof is here on the channel, and I've already shared it in another video as well, of me prophesying it and me seeing it coming and then it coming to pass. Now, another thing I prophesied was President Putin planning a summer offense. And now we are seeing that coming to pass in the real world. And I will put that particular video message at the end of this video as an end screen. So if anyone was interested in catching up that video from me, then all you have to do is just click on the end screen at the end of this video, and it will take you to that video. Now let's go into our next message here. Greetings from the Arcturians and Arcturian 144 here. Jack Kennedy is coming through, as in John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy's spirit is coming through here with a message through me because he wants to have a word with the US President, President Trump, who is watching me. He actually gave me the name Jack Kennedy. And yeah, I remember he was called Jack as well. And I'm just looking it up here on Google just to confirm. And yeah, it says, why was John F. Kennedy called Jack? And it says Jack is a common nickname for John, and it is what his family called him when he was growing up. So yes, we have the spirit of John F. Kennedy coming through here with a message for the current US President, President Trump. Now, I'm sure people know about, or they must have heard about John F. Kennedy, but John F. Kennedy, also known as JFK, was the 35th President of the United States, serving from 1961 until his assassination in 1963. He was the first Roman Catholic and youngest person elected president at 43 years. So yeah, he was assassinated on 22nd of November 1963. Right. So the spirit of John F. Kennedy is coming through here. Right. John F. Kennedy's spirit is saying that he wants President Trump to stop with the trade war with the world, the tariff war that he has started with the world. He's saying, you are ruining America, American economy, and the American people. And it's having an adverse effect on American foreign policy as well, and on our economic and trade relations with the world, with other countries. And he's saying it's not a good look for America, for the US. And it's not good for our image. Now he's bringing up the Russian president, President Putin. He's saying, tell Putin to back down from the war with Ukraine and from causing a third world war and a nuclear war on top of it. And now he's bringing up the Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu as well. He's saying, tell Netanyahu to stop starving the Palestinians to death and stop killing Palestinian children and babies while they're lining up to get some food because they're starving, and while they're lining up to get some water and they're getting killed. Tell Netanyahu to stop with the genocide of the Palestinian people. Tell him to back down as well from the war with the Palestinians and Iran as well. And now John F. Kennedy is reiterating the same message that I've already given out here in a previous video regarding Prime Minister Netanyahu. John F. Kennedy is saying that to President Trump that if he wants the charges dropped when it comes to Prime Minister Netanyahu, the International Criminal Court charges against him. And of course, the International Criminal Court has also issued an arrest warrant for him as well. So he's just saying that if you want the charges dropped for Netanyahu or against Netanyahu, then tell him to stop the war with the Palestinians and make peace with the Palestinians and also Hamas. He's bringing up making peace with Hamas as well. Oh yeah, of course, because he's telling President Trump to tell Prime Minister Netanyahu to stop the war with the Palestinians and make peace with the Palestinians and also make peace with Hamas. And stop starving the Palestinians. Stop starving Palestinian women, children, babies, men to death. And stop killing Palestinians and Palestinian children who are lining up for aid at a clinic or a medical facility or to get some food because they're starving to death. And stop killing Palestinian children when they're just lining up to fetch some water or get some water to drink. Stop starving the Palestinians to death. And this keeps coming up as well. He's also saying that this is a war tactic that Prime Minister Netanyahu is using against the Palestinians and even Palestinian children. Wow. As I said, he's just being a monster. And this message also keeps coming up. And again, John F. Kennedy is reiterating the same message, is repeating the same message that Prime Minister Netanyahu wishes to eliminate the Palestinians and the Palestinian population. And what they're giving me with that, I mean the Arcturians and John F. Kennedy, is ethnic cleansing. That's what Netanyahu is doing or trying to do as well. Ethnic cleansing and genocide of the Palestinian people and children. He won't even leave the children alone. He won't even leave the babies alone. He is being a real monster. And you're siding with a monster is what John F. Kennedy is saying right now through me to you, President Trump. And you're siding with a monster. That's what you're doing. Whether you can see it or not, or whether you realize it or not. And he's saying, and the same goes for President Putin and what he's doing to the Ukrainian people. And when it comes to his war with Ukraine, and now he's bringing up the Sumi situation, and and he's saying that is the summer offense that I predicted in a previous video. And of course, in another previous video, I predicted that or prophesied that war is coming, prepare for war. And then in another video message after that, I also predicted or I gave out the message regarding Putin planning and preparing for a summer offense. And here we are in summer season. This is July. And what are we seeing? President Putin building up troops, Russian military troops along the border with Finland. And then now he has what? Yeah, Russia masses 50,000 troops around Sumy, Ukraine. With 50,000 troops in the area, they outnumber the Ukrainians roughly 3-1, according to soldiers fighting there. Russia deploys 50,000 troops around Sumy. Yeah, well, Russia gathers 50,000 troops at Ukrainian border near Sumy. Well, there you go. This is what I was predicting or prophesying. When I did those couple of videos, not too long ago, and I think one of them was titled, or is titled, War is Coming, Prepare for War. And then I did another video message after that saying, predicting, prophesying that, and of course these were the messages coming through from the Arcturians, my star family as well, that President Putin was planning a summer offense. And we are in summer. We are in July. And look at what's happening. President Putin amassing troops, Russian troops, along the border with Finland, and also now President Putin amassing troops around Sumy, Ukraine. This is what I was talking about. This is what my messages and warnings were about. This is the summer offense I predicted or prophesied. And these were the messages coming from the Arcturians as well. In my previous videos, they're there on my channel. They're there on the channel. Anyone can look them up. And that's what's happening right now. And we're in the summer. We're in the month of July 2025. And all this activity has been happening in the summer months. And we are still in the summer months. Here in the northern hemisphere. So, now that you're seeing all these events playing out in reality, you world leaders watching me, you still don't want to pay attention to me? You still don't want to listen to me? You still don't want to take me seriously? Is that what you still want to continue to do? Well, suit yourselves then. John F. Kennedy is still here and saying that we stand on the brink of World War III and a nuclear war on top of it. And he's asking you, President Trump, he's saying, and what are you doing about it, President Trump? Nothing? And you still want a Nobel Peace Prize? For what? For nothing. For doing nothing. During your election campaign, you promised the people that you would stop the wars. And here we are. You cannot seem to stop the wars. You have not stopped the wars. you are actually making it worse. And the world stands on the brink of World War III and a nuclear war on top of it. So then, what do you want the Nobel Peace Prize for, President Trump? When you haven't been able to make peace, no real lasting peace anywhere in the world, let alone Israel and Palestine and the war there, and Russia and Ukraine and the war there. Threatening to cause a World War III and a nuclear war. So what do you want the Nobel Peace Prize for then, President Trump? When you haven't been able to make peace, when you haven't been a peacemaker, where it actually counts, when it comes to Israel and Palestine and Gaza war, long-standing war, a very long-standing war, and especially when it comes to Russia-Ukraine war, with President Putin threatening to cause a third world war and a nuclear war on top of it. You want a Nobel Peace Prize for that? For not being able to make peace where peace actually counts and is needed and necessary, absolutely necessary? So we don't end up, so the world does not end up in a third world war and a nuclear war on top of it. And you're sitting there talking about how you still want a Nobel Peace Prize. Really? Wow. And people like the Pakistani army chief and perhaps the Pakistan government as well, and then Prime Minister Netanyahu coming along for another visit to the White House and nominating you for the Nobel Peace Prize. And it's coming from people like that? The Pakistani army chief and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Really? They have no integrity. But yeah, they have the same mindset as you of dictators. And then this is coming from someone like Netanyahu, who is a war criminal. Are you kidding me? Do you think anyone's gonna take them seriously? Do you think anyone's gonna take Prime Minister Netanyahu seriously when he's a war criminal? And look at what he's doing to the Palestinians, Palestinian children, Iran, and what he wants to do to Iran still, and whatever is still in the planning? I see. I see. Of course, because why would you back out and back off of Iran so easily? And I've been thinking about this, and now this is what's coming through. So yeah, no wonder. I see. You're still planning on something when it comes to Iran. I see. Yeah, that's what I thought too. But now that message is coming through here as well from the Arcturians. And of course, John F. Kennedy's spirit is here as well. John F. Kennedy is here as well with me. Now, I'm channeling the Arcturians, and they're saying, we let you do the airstrikes on Iran, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna let you do anything more when it comes to Iran. Do you hear us? Is what the Arcturians are saying. Do you hear them? Do you hear the Arcturians, your star family, President Trump? They're saying they let you do the airstrikes on Iran on purpose, but they're not going to let you do anything more when it comes to Iran. So you better sit down. Stop planning for, wow, yeah, as I thought, for regime change in Iran still. You're still planning on going in for a regime change in Iran. And the Arcturians are requesting you respectfully to please sit down, President Trump. Do not do that. Or we will induce that heart attack on you. And I've already given out this message here as well. Yeah, they're saying, don't think that just because you haven't had that heart attack yet, that it won't happen. Because they're saying, we let you do the airstrikes on Iran. But if you go in for a regime change in Iran, then we will induce that heart attack on you, President Trump. So please, sit down when it comes to Iran and doing anything more there, especially a regime change in Iran. Do not do it. Stop planning for it. Stop it. Or we will induce that heart attack on you and make you sit down. Lie down even. And bring you to your knees to humble you. You certainly need that. You need to humble yourself, President Trump. Do not let these executive powers of the United States President, or of being the United States President, go to your head now. Because we know how to humble you if you go there. And we've already told you what will happen if you go there. And I'm just repeating the same message again here for the third time now in this video message to you. That we will induce a heart attack on you if you go in for a regime change in Iran. Because you're still planning on doing that. You're still planning on it. With Netanyahu. The two of you. Just the two of you. And hang on. I'm getting your Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, also here actually. He's involved in the planning too. Oh, of course, because he's your Secretary of Defense. We've already given you heart palpitations as a warning. Don't make us give you a full-on heart attack that will put you in a hospital, in a coma, so you can have a near-death experience. Because if that's where we have to go, if that's the extreme we have to go to humble you and to give you a near-death experience, so you can wake up a little to the spiritual reality, then that's what we're gonna have to do, President Trump. This is the message coming from your star family, the Arcturians, our star family. I'm channeling their message to you. I'm giving you their message and what they're saying to you. Do you want to have a full-on heart attack? End up in a hospital, in a coma? Do you want a near-death experience, President Trump? Is that what it's gonna take for you to sit down and for you to humble yourself? A near-death experience, a heart attack and a near-death experience. Do you even know what that is? Have you heard about it? Maybe you should look it up. If that's what it's gonna take for the Arcturians to connect with you, to connect with your soul, your spirit, on the other side, in the astral realm, in the astral dimension, while your body is lying in a hospital bed, in a coma, but your soul, your spirit will be having a near-death experience. And if that's what it's gonna take for the Arcturians to connect with you, with your soul, your spirit, and humble you, then we will do it. So please sit down. Stop planning on a regime change in Iran with Netanyahu and your Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth. Just stop. You still have time to stop and course correct and turn things around for yourself and your country, America, and for the world, is what the Arcturians are saying to you. Enough said. We're gonna leave this message here. Over and out.